Even though me and Tanya decided to separate, we still sleeping in the same bed and still having sex.
So freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Sreten.
Yeah.
Dude. I know you had fun this past weekend.
I did.
Man. So for those of you out there that don't know, you should know by now, I do live vocals for a band called Handsome Prick. We had what you would call a mini tour, I guess. 3 shows in a row. First night, Griffith, Indiana. Second night, Bedford Park, Illinois, and the third night in Indianapolis, Indiana. And for the type of music we play, holy shit, we fucking tore it up, dude. It physically has taken a little toll on me because guess what? I'm getting old. Fuck it. Dude, our homies in Shit Life, Minimum Wage Assassins. Unfortunately, Malignancy couldn't show up for Stone's birthday, which, hey, it is what it is. You know what? What do they always say? Card subject to change, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that being said, first night, dude, I had a blast at Avenue 912 in Griffith, Indiana. If there's any locals listening to this show and you want to book a concert or something there, holy fuck, what a great place. Everybody was super professional. The sound was awesome. Dude, we had our first fucking backdrop, like a digital LED backdrop. They had all these. One thing that always tripped me out as a kid, like my favorite bands, like seeing like Soundgarden or anybody that did shit back in the day, they'd have those backdrops with the projections in the back, and it'd either be like some tripped out colors or whatever. And, you know, to be able to just like hand them a bunch of artwork and shit and rip shit up on stage like that for the homie Darren Stone. What up, Stone?
It was cool. Stone really organized everything well for that event, and that event was his birthday.
Yeah, so, his birthday, and he did great while in the shroom zone. So
well, we don't have to bust him out, but yeah,
dude, whatever,
and like I got there like 45 minutes or an hour after everything started, and I had a good time too. Everybody I met was super cool. I was hopping around from little circle of people to little circle of people, trying to do a little, film a little this.
You're trying to go in the back and share your love of El Amigo with everybody.
I tried to eat. I didn't eat that much that night. Usually I'm known to eat about 10 to 15 pounds of El Amigo steak.
Stone went on that fucking Steve Tortorello level, dude, like for that show, dude. The catering was awesome. There was a huge spread of, what tacos, of any variety, any kind you want, any kind of meat.
It's dinner, man. Taco. What do you call it? Taco salad bar, right?
I guess. I mean,
taco buffet.
There were tortillas too, so I don't know how much of a salad it is. Anyways, moot point. Huge spread, dude. Tamales too. Oh, tamales. Like taking care of people. And dude, we fucking tore it up that night. And then the second night went out to Magoo's. You were there for that as well. It took us a while to get on stage, but once we did, ooh la la. You guys can, my personal YouTube is Juicifuge. Check it out. Search it up. That's where I post a lot of the Handsome Prick videos and stuff. Maybe I'll start sharing on the JP Dub. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are quite ready for that yet. But
that show, Magoo's, was cool because it was, they also had good sound, but it was cool for me because.
Yeah, old dude, Ben Rose. Mm-hmm. The guy used to run sound at, God, what's that place right over the border? Royal Skate and Apparel. We used to play shows there. You went to a show. I think one of your first shows seen us.
Yep.
He used to run sound and do shit up there. So he's like, yeah, this is where I'm fucking doing stuff now. And it was cool. It was crazy. I always get the jitters still a little bit before going on, even if we're doing a few in a row. But I thought everything sounded good and the people were very, very receptive, so that's a big thing, man. Shout out to everybody that everybody's lives that we changed this past weekend because we changed some lives. It was fucking
changed lots of lives.
People really enjoyed it. And that's what it's all about. As long as someone gets it and really is just like blown away by it.
Yes.
And they come up to you and they want to fucking buy your shit, but they also want to give you the gratitude and, you know, shit like the attaboys, essentially. Like, it's fucking awesome, you know?
Right. I saw it. I know. I think you told me a story that happened to you Sunday, which you'll get into. But for me, I saw it Saturday firsthand, with each band playing, and then you guys played. When you guys started, I watched the crowd. Like, I watched them shift. They were like, "What the fuck?" It was very cool because I know you guys. It ends up being like a huge point of pride. But then you get into it too, like they weren't moshing in any particular hard way,
no.
but everybody's having a good time. But I was like, man, I want to jump in and shove some people.
We could play in front of 50,000 people, and I don't know if they would fucking mosh. There might be some people trying, but people just, you know.
I don't understand moshing.
They don't. Well, not that. And the people that do even get it, it's like they just want to enjoy the fucking music. Like, right. You know, I don't think people know how to mosh to our shit because it's so intense. You know, it's like so crazy. Like, if you were to truly mosh to our shit, you might fucking hurt someone. And don't do that.
Don't do that.
But
and don't hurt yourself.
It was fucking good. It was a great show, man. Once again, with Shit Life, those dudes are fucking amazing. Like, I
got to meet them. They are fucking cool.
You were digging at the Beer Blast Beats and Blasphemy show, aka Darren Stone's birthday party. Yeah, I was standing at the table with you, and you were like, "Yeah, these guys, I like these guys." Yeah. I'm like, that's cool because this is the motherfucker that's like Dave Matthews all the time.
Well, so, I also it was the first time I saw second most popular referee in the world. Derek Martha, I got to see his band
who was
play.
Wearing a Dan Perch shirt, by the way. So shout to Dan Perch. Hey, man.
Everybody supporting everybody. But it's the first time I got to see him, and I got to see him 2 days in a row, which was super cool.
And he told me, he's like, Sreten's, he's like, man, out of everybody I know, he's like, I see Sreten. He's like one of the only 2 or 3 people I see like all the time, everywhere. Like out of the blue, you know, like he's at this fucking show. I'm
always just watch what you say, people, because I'm always somewhere back there. Man. I'm in the room.
Creeping on a come up.
And Sunday?
Dude, so Saturday, shit, I just took a fucking snapshot, whatever.
Of your testicles.
So I crashed at Brad's, our drummer, Brad Vanderzee of Handsome Prick and many other projects, Pink Machines, Dirty Dead, Poor. Check it all out. Bandcamp. You know where to go. Stayed at his house. We didn't get home till, I don't know, it was fucking late, and I ate this. Dude, I had some Illuminatis, you know, shout out to his old lady, Cassie, like had some Illuminatis waiting for us on the counter, but we open one up and it's this fucking, it's a deep dish, but it's like all vegetables, dude, like spinach and shit. And we ate it. And Brad poured a shit ton of fucking crushed red pepper. You opened the wrong side of the fucking canister. He had this big tall canister and dumped it, and it was like the pour side, and it just went all over, and he still ate it, you know. I mean, he brushed a little bit off, but dude, there's a lot on there, so his butthole paid the price the next day, you know. Bubble guts.
Sometimes the butthole has to pay the price.
Yeah, man, dude. But just the veggies for me had me fucking, you know.
My favorite deep dish is veggie deep dish.
Oh man, no way. I like some meat, but there was also it wasn't deep dish, but it's just cheese. So, you know, I mainly ate a bunch of that. But no, man, we got up, went to bed, got up fucking early, had to make the drive down to Indy. It's like 2.5 hours from here. We did that. We went to, what the fuck was the place? Oh, Black Circle Brewery in Indy. Check them out. I know on Instagram they're at Black Circle Indy. Black Circle Brewery Brewing. Check them out. Google them. Dude, the place is cool. It's like all, I mean, it's got the Chicago bar, metal bar, punk bar vibes, you know, almost like a Three Floyds thing, but there's band stickers everywhere. They got some big bands coming through, like DRI and I Hate God are fucking coming through. A bunch of horror movie, you know, like legit sized horror movie posters framed on the wall, like obscure ones, a mass vault collection of VHS movies ranging from, like, I saw Drop Dead Fred in the mix, I saw Bloodsport in the mix, which I asked her to put on and was playing while we were playing. Nice. So it was kind of distracting. You know, I had to like turn and look away because I'm like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do when Bolo Young like freaks out, or the dude from fucking Revenge of the Nerds, all that shit,
almost gets killed.
Frank Dukes, man.
Frank Dukes.
Real Frank Dukes. He hated on Van Damme, said it wasn't too legit.
Well,
quit.
Real Frank Dukes, turns out his story wasn't legit. He's a big fat fucking liar. So that's that.
Damn, man. Knowledge has been dropped on your favorite 80s martial arts films.
Still love the movie.
That's why we're cool, brother. That's why we're cool. But yeah, tons of fucking awesome shit there, dude. And once again, thank you to everybody who showed up to that and everybody who put that show on. There's some video, like I said, if you go on my YouTube page, there's video, at least a couple of our set and some more shit life and stuff. And I know the guy who put the show on has video. He recorded the whole thing, so that'll be up. And that actually sounded good. I was dying. I forget what song it was, but it was like mid-set, dude. All of a sudden, like I popped a massive fucking migraine headache. And I was just like, oh God, what am I, it hurts to scream now. What am I going to do? And it went away just miraculously. So we were able to continue, but yeah, we fucking destroyed. And then cool. When we left, everybody got together and we blazed a couple of fatty boom batty spliffs, man. And went home. And that was my tale. And I tell no lies.
And with that, Justin, who's our guest this week?
Funny you should ask. It was Cary Silkin, former owner and now ambassador of Ring of Honor Wrestling, ROH. That's right. They're coming back. Supercard of Honor in Texas, April 1st. And he was here to talk to us about that. He was here to talk to us about music, his love of Jethro Tull, and his many adventures, somewhat explicit. Children be warned. It's a good time of just hanging with wrestlers and going to concerts and different experiences throughout his professional career and his career as a wild motherfucker. Cary talked to us about his favorite wrestlers reuniting with some of his quote unquote children in professional wrestling while at AEW and Impact Wrestling, and so much more. Everybody, get ready for a wild ride. Get ready for Rock and Wrestling with Cary Silkin.
You so freaking bad. Wrestle me.
Welcome everybody to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 184, Rock and Wrestling. With us tonight, we have a very special guest. Forgive my voice, I'm a little blown out from the three in a row Handsome Prick shows that I did this weekend. Thank you to everybody who came out and bought merch and supported. You guys fucking rule. But anyways, we have a very special guest with us tonight. He was at one time the owner and now ambassador of Ring of Honor Wrestling. And he is no stranger to the podcasting game, as he has one himself with Ian Riccaboni. Last Stop Penn Station. You guys need to check that out. And I'm sure we'll fucking tear into that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boils and ghouls, please give a warm welcome for Cary Silkin. Cary, how the fuck are you, brother?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Thanks for joining us, man. I'm great. Like I said, I'm recovering my vocal cords from a crazy weekend of underground metal brutalities, so to speak. And just ready to sit here and rock this shit with you. How was your weekend, man?
Well, my weekend was quiet because I was in Florida between I don't know. I was there for 10 days. So I'm still tired. I'm old. My voice is shot. Too many cigars, too much fun times. So anyway, I'm glad we united.
Yes. And speaking of being down in Florida, I've seen you turning up in a lot of places here lately, brother, whether it's AEW or Impact Wrestling. And I kind of want to dive into that real quick because I think it's a very cool thing, for people that know the history of Ring of Honor and know about you and your involvement. And a lot of these men and women, I mean, dude, you gave them their initial platform and look where they're at now. So, I imagine you're backstage hanging, kicking it with all, the men and women that you helped in Ring of Honor. How has that been, the experience to go, bounce around from like AEW to Impact, and what has that been like for you?
It's great. I mean, it's like all my children.
I love that show.
AEW, I go there. I've been to only 2 AEW shows, but some of my best friends of all time are there. Young Bucks are like my West Coast sons. Jerry Lynn, my brother, and I see Brian, I see Punk, I see so many others, Hangman Page, the list goes on and on. And I was at Impact a few weeks ago, almost accidentally, because I was in Fort Lauderdale, and my podcast buddy Ian Riccaboni says, "Oh, how long are you there for?" I go, "I'm leaving Wednesday." He goes, "Oh shit, I'm coming down Thursday." I go, "For what?" He goes, "Impact's down there." So since Impact's doing the deal with Honor No More, I was the perfect, besides Ian and besides Bobby Cruz, our longtime ring announcer.
That's right.
I was a perfect baby face for Honor No More. Against Honor No More. So yeah,
I'm really enjoying that too. It's a great angle. PCO, who's a really good brother of the show.
What a good dude.
Oh, that he's PCO is the fucking man, and he'll be around here these parts for Black Label Pro March 26th. So we'll be super stoked to see him again. But I love the way that storyline's played out, and it seems like Impact, last several years has just been on the up and up. Redemption song, to quote Bob Marley.
Well, Bobby Cruz, who by the way, it was his birthday yesterday. Now he's 75 years old. But anyway, Bobby was telling me when he went to Texas, which was before the Fort Lauderdale, he goes, "Cary, you won't believe how fucking professional they are." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, and he was right. And I'm not downgrading ROH because backstage it's a good crew, but at Impact they had Jimmy Jacobs, D'Lo Brown, Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer, and I'm leaving a few names out. Chris Sabin's involved. Very organized, very good crew. The production was great. And it was nice to be a part of it. Actually, it was the first time ever, even though I do the walkout to Jethro Tull's Locomotive Breath.
Yes.
At Ring of Honor. But they actually introduced me. So it was cool. It was cool. They're good people. And as far as Impact, I was there February 5th, they were in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing my West Coast sons, the Bucks, Jay Lethal, Jerry Lynn, seeing Punk, seeing Danielson, aforementioned Hangman Page, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. These are all my kids.
Yeah. And, all legends of Ring of Honor.
And it's really cool. And the guys that I didn't know or didn't know me, Jim Ross was great. Chris Jericho, he was nice enough to let me do his podcast after Final Battle. What a cool guy. And they were both really good experiences.
Hell yeah. And with AEW, like, all those guys back there, it's amazing to see. And it's awesome that you have another.
I left out Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole.
Yeah. How could you do that? Baby!
It's amazing. Check this out. 12 years ago, Adam Cole used to drive to my house, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We'd go for a jog. We'd go eat. We'd go to the casino. He'd never been to Madison Square Garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I took him to WWE at the Garden. And we had front row tickets. And that's all right. Go ahead, AJ. Come here. That's my producer, AJ, that does Last Stop Penn Station.
Hell yeah, get them shout outs. What's up, AJ?
So, yeah. But, yeah, Adam is like my son. And it's like, and same with Kyle O'Reilly. I took him to his first Jethro Tull concert. And took him to his first Broadway show. And it took him to his first Yankee game. And they're good, just good dudes. And I'm so fucking happy for their success.
Oh, yeah. And their success in ROH as well. Both former world champions, and Adam Cole had a hell of a run as multiple time champ in ROH.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Keep going.
Those were some great days, the HD net days, which is something that you were the proprietor of. How did that come about when you were responsible for getting Ring of Honor kind of on that, pay-per-view platform, the TV deal?
If it wasn't for Mark Cuban and Andrew Simon, who's still involved, we wouldn't have had the HD net deal. And at the time, I thought I should have done my research, but those guys were so good to us. But little did I know that HDNet only had like 4% of penetration to I thought the first night we were on HDNet, the fucking DVD and T-shirt orders would be flying in from all over the country. But they didn't have the right penetration. But anyway, they were so good to us. And we had 2 years with them, and I can't say anything bad about them, but it was a good experience.
So real quick, how did that, is that kind of what led to you selling ROH in essence? Was it
I wasn't making any money, bro.
Right. I got you.
It was like when I got ownership of the company in early 2004. Fortunately, I wasn't married. Fortunately, I had no biological kids.
That you know of.
That I know of. But now when I put on WWE, AEW, or TNA or Impact, there's all my kids. But anyway, yeah, so I was able to my ticket business funded Ring of Honor. And because of my passion, because of my ego, because I knew we had a really good thing. I knew it. But it just never made any money. All it did was lose money. So I couldn't give it up because of the aforementioned reasons. Should I repeat them? Ego, pride, knowing we had a good product.
Yeah.
So I kept it going, and finally, through Jim Cornette and Gary Juster, we were able to hook up a deal with Joe Koff from Sinclair. It took like a year and a half. It was like forever. Dude, they were shoving fucking flashlights up our ass. They call that due diligence.
Yeah.
Due diligence.
But, thank God for Sinclair because they kept the product alive.
Yeah. And Sinclair, huge media outlet. That's, ROH was in more homes now more than ever. So I'm sure, maybe he was like sitting there, like watching the shirts and DVDs, like, yeah, fuck Cary, I got him now. No, I'm totally joking.
They wanted the show. At the time they bought it, they had like 75 affiliates.
Yeah.
Now they have like 180. So they wanted to get an hour of TV that was less expensive than buying Seinfeld or
right
Company or whatever. And I have nothing. Joe Koff, who's like, he's not Sinclair. He's just an employee.
Right.
Good dude. He's a good dude. And, here we are in 2022, and we have a show April 1st in Dallas, Texas. And it's still exciting.
Oh, yeah. It's very exciting, especially, a couple months. Let's rewind a couple of months back where we didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody's released from their contracts,
right?
And it's awesome because I always kind of knew, I'm like, well, there's no way it's going away. ROH. I mean, it kind of pissed me off to a degree to see a lot of people out there in the, wrestling community, whatever, on the internet, kind of write it off like, yeah, they're done. And I'm like, I don't think so. It might be a little bit different. It might be presented in a different way, but there's no way they're done. They're just hitting the reset button.
I got a question. How old are you?
Yeah, oh man, you got to make me give it away on air. I'm 39.
How about your producer?
I'm 43. I'll be 44 in
well, you guys are old enough to understand this. Nothing is as good as it used to be.
Oh, brother, you're
also,
fucking. Yeah.
There's no guarantees. So Sinclair, I owned it from 2004 to 11, the middle of 11. So now we're up to 22. And all I know is April 1st. I hope you guys are coming to fucking Texas.
Ooh, don't tap me with a good time. We've been known to just jump ship and head to Texas before.
Well,
we've been known.
It's WrestleMania weekend. We have a show April 1st in the hell's the name of the town?
I could pull that up for you.
Denton, Texas. Look it up. Denton, Texas is where Stan Hansen was from. What the hell's?
Fuck yeah. Well, I do know it's at the Curtis Colwell Center. So wherever the hell that's at, people got the Google.
They got the Google. 50 miles outside of Dallas. We're going to be there Friday night, April 1st. There's all kinds of shit going on that week besides WrestleMania, besides the SmackDown Hall of Fame, NXT, New Japan.
Got the collective.
AAA's there, Impact's there. If you're a wrestling fan, it's a place to be. So hopefully I'll see you guys down there.
Fuck yeah. Hey, we'll have to party, man. We'll get down. Cary, I'm curious to know, what's your beverage of choice?
Oh, at the moment, it's just some Chardonnay.
Ooh, fancy. I just drink that Budweiser.
What's your cigar of choice? Do you have a choice? Yeah.
Padron.
They're
very good.
Sreten, didn't you give me one of those?
I'll give you one if you come there.
Hell yeah.
I'll get you tickets and a cigar. How about that?
Fuck yeah, brother. Hey, so you were talking about your passion for the business. And this is something I'm really curious about because I see that, you and Ian on your podcast, you guys do some shit like some little skits where it's like you found some old school wrestling cards and you guys are kind of doing like a little brief 10-minute history, 5-minute history of pro wrestling. How far back do you and pro wrestling go?
I go back to January of 1966. I wasn't even 10 years old. And my cousin Mike, God bless him, he's still alive. He's doing well. He turned me on to wrestling. And at the time, wrestling, I was in the Northeast, New Jersey. Wrestling was on Channel 5 at 9 o'clock for 2 hours from the wrestling capital of the world, Washington, D.C. And the first time I saw it, I was hooked. I was just hooked. And I would scour my little town for wrestling magazines because that was the internet of the time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Madison Square Garden, but do you guys know what a blue law is?
I don't know.
Really?
Educate me.
I will. A blue law is like they don't sell liquor on Sundays.
Oh, yeah. Well, being from Indiana, we used to abide by that shitty rule.
All right.
They kind of
so
changed
New
it
York
up.
State, they had a law, quote unquote, that you had to be 14 years old to attend boxing or wrestling at the Garden.
Mm.
There were no ladies matches. There were no gimmick matches like chain matches, cage matches. Anyway, I begged my father, please take me to the Garden. But I wanted to go somewhere before that. So even though it was in New York, sorry for this long story. My uncle.
That's what we're here for.
My Uncle Henry knew the guy that promoted Sunnyside Gardens in Queens, Manny Hecklin, and they didn't abide by those edicts. The age thing. They had to do the women. So I went to my first card, January 1st, a matinee at Sunnyside Gardens. What a classic opening match. And even though you're young, you'll get it. Arnold Skolin against Johnny Roz.
Wow, dude.
And I think the main event was Spiros Arion against Tank Morgan, whatever. But it was magic. And I went to a couple of shows. I was an avid magazine buyer. And then in 71, when I was 14, I begged my dad, please, he was a good guy, take me to the Garden. And he hated wrestling. He turned me on to the Yankees. He turned me on to the Rangers and Knicks and the Giants. But it's wrestling. But he
wasn't a Bruno fan, huh?
No, but you know what? He got us tickets, so we went. And you know what the main event was that night?
Who's that?
Pedro Morales.
Oh shit!
Against my favorite, one of the all-time great heels, right up there with the fucking Sheik or whoever, Freddie Blassie.
Oh, you pencil neck geek! I fucking love Freddie Blassie. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
What is it with God damn it? What's his name?
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. It's like lunch or breakfast with Blassie. Oh, it's so great. So great.
So great. So we went to the Garden and Blassie, we get to the main event and it was like 90% Latino crowd. Everybody was cool. Well, when the main event starts and Blassie comes out first, there's no music, there's no lighting, there's nothing, but the fucking place is rocking. And Blassie comes out and I'm standing up. My father grabs me by my pants. He goes, sit down, you're going to get us killed here. It was great.
Legit concern, because back in the day, I mean, dude, kayfabe was very much alive. We've talked to a lot of people that have told us stories. Shout out to homie Mike DeSalvo, who saw King Kong Bundy out in that area spit on a kid back in the day. Like that's
there was no guardrails. It was, hog wild. But after that, my cousin Mike, who turned me on to wrestling, he was like 4 years older than me. So he had his license and we were able to drive. He'd pick me up every Monday, once a month. And we went to the Garden 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost every show. So we went from the Pedro Morales era to the new Bruno era into the Superstar Graham era.
Superstar Billy Graham. Love Billy Graham.
The Backlund era.
Yeah.
So I was at a lot of I was taking some acid.
Yes.
It was Bruno against it was very light though. Superstar Graham.
Holy shit.
My friend Jeff is like, because we were like 10th row. And it's like when Billy Graham came out, the belt was like sparkling. I'm like,
hell yeah, it was.
What the fuck? But yeah, so
that tie-dye was melting.
I was there the night Snuka jumped off the cage.
Oh shit, yeah.
I was there the night that Hogan won the belt.
Oh, yeah, from the
I was
Sheik.
also at WrestleMania 1.
Oh, man, awesome. I've only been to one WrestleMania, and that was 8 at the Hoosier Dome.
That's a good one.
It was a good one. It's kind of underrated in my opinion, but hey.
So, yeah, man, I was a long time fan.
So let me ask you this. The opportunity comes to purchase Ring of Honor. I mean, that's obviously what were you feeling at that time? Because you're like, holy shit, now I have a chance to own a wrestling company. Like, what was that like? Your mentality?
Well, the first thing was I was supposed to be a silent partner.
Mm-hmm.
But then this thing happened that we don't need to talk about.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I wound up being the owner. And there I was. And talk about a bridge over troubled waters. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But thank God for CM Punk and Samoa Joe.
Yes.
And
both now officially cemented forever in the legacy of ROH.
Absolutely.
Members of the Hall of Fame.
Right. And even before that, they were always unofficially there. But because of that trilogy, and we had such a good staff with Nigel,
yes,
and Low-Key,
yeah,
and Roderick Strong coming in, and so on, and Tyler Black coming in, we were able to get through all that. And thanks to Mick Foley, too, who was with us then, and Ricky Steamboat.
Yes.
We all that bad blood was behind us. And here we are in 2022.
And I got to tell you this because I've always appreciated, I thought my opinion of ROH from the very start, even up until now, it was like the ECW that could continue, because I've always been under the impression that would ECW be able to exist today? I don't necessarily know. Maybe I kind of lean more towards no, but I think they kind of took, the essence of like ECW and the best parts of it and continued on with it and started, like the Code of Honor thing, very sports centric feel, which was so fucking awesome. And it still goes on to this day. And I'm so glad you guys brought back the ROH Pure title, because Pure Wrestling, there's such a fan base, people clamoring for that over the years, because we all lived through the last 20 years of and which
right.
Sreten in post bleep that I said that, because that's two naughty words I don't like. But I've just always appreciated the fact that you guys were able to do that and pull that off and still be entertaining, but it very much had a super athletic sports feel to that. And that's really what separated you guys.
Absolutely did. And I give a lot of credit to that to Gabe Sapolsky.
Yeah.
As much of a pain in the ass he was, he knows that, but he was a real good eye for talent. And I always thought of myself, guys, as a producer. What the fuck's a producer? You see, like at the beginning of a movie, produced by so-and-so, directed by so-and-so. So me as a producer I would get the right people behind the scenes. I would get the right people to do, here's the thing. If you look at Ring of Honor for 2003, there's no lighting.
Right.
And in 2004, I brought in rudimentary but professional lighting. So we're talking about ring lighting, poles, 6 lights on 4 corners, some entrance lights. And at first, Gabe was like, Cary, we don't need that. I don't want you to spend your money. We're just an indie. I'm like, Gabe, do you like rock and roll? I knew he did. He was a big Slayer fan.
Fuck yeah.
And a big Rush fan.
Yes.
And I'm like, what happens at the beginning of a Rush or Slayer show? Oh, the lights go out. I'm like, all right. If you have no lights, how can the lights go out? So we did our first show at the Murphy Rec Center. And at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, when we turned out the lights, what does the crowd do? They pop.
Yes.
Even at a movie, they pop. So it was like, that was part of the magic. The other thing was, I noticed on Raw, they had those black barricades instead of the bicycle. So I was like, the guy Sid that worked with us, let's make up some barricades. Like Rick and Sid, it was like synergistic. He got these barricades that were like metal. Big metal.
It's like sheet metal or something like that.
Thank you. Sheet metal that had the ROH. So if you're in the front row, you were able to be like,
yes.
It was, so whatever. It worked out. And between 2004 and 2010, we would improve the lighting, which is still not nearly as good as what we have now but it was okay. And it made a huge difference.
Oh yeah. And you got to have that. I mean, you take over a company, you want to be considered, like you said, more than an indie. You want to do something with the product, especially when you have, I mean, granted, maybe at that time, I don't know who would have thought that, who would be huge, what CM Punk was going to become, or Joe, or any of those guys. There were a few, you guys had Jerry Lynn come in, and very early on, even Eddie Guerrero was there for a match.
Daniels, Jamie Noble, Austin Aries.
Yes.
The Briscoes forever.
Yes. Fucking love the Briscoes, man. They just defended the ROH tag titles at one of our favorite promotions in Chicagoland, Warrior Wrestling, in a killer match.
And if you guys make it to April 1st, you'll see the Briscoes defending the belts there.
Hell yeah. And nobody knows who they're defending them against yet.
It'll be announced shortly.
I kind of have my own speculation, but whatever. I keep that shit to myself. That's part of the fun, is just guessing who's it going to be.
We'll see.
I got a question. Speaking of that, what's your take on, I guess, and maybe it started with ECW, the smart fans, the smarks, whatever you want to call them. What's your take on wrestling fans in this day and era, knowing like a little too much of what's going on? Like, how difficult is that to produce a quality surprise in professional wrestling nowadays with the way social media and shit is?
It's a very good question. All I know is that in 2010 into 11, when the Sinclair deal was going down, it's like, my dear friend, Bushwhacker Luke Williams.
Hell yeah. I got his phone number.
He's like, mate, telephone, telegraph, telewrestler. So, but there's certain cases where at that time, Cornette, Gary Juster, myself, Joe Koff, Delirious, they were the only people that knew. And some of these guys would be angry at me, like my friends, like Bobby Cruz and Todd Sinclair, would like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, don't worry. So,
forget about it.
It worked out. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. And the wrestling fans seem to be more concerned about what's going on behind the scenes than the actual wrestling.
Yeah, it's very fucking strange. Like, I hate the fact that everybody is in this bickering social media fucking war about AEW and WWE ratings. What the fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? The only people who should give a fuck are the people that are putting on the damn show,
Right.
I'm a fan that doesn't care. I say I'm new to this, even though we've been doing the podcast for like 3 years, but I stepped away from wrestling. I watched it as a kid, popped in for a little bit in the late 90s, and then disappeared again. And because of Wallace, I got into it. So Wallace and Bodie, the other host, who couldn't make it tonight, they both have a deep knowledge of wrestling. Just insane what they know. They know stuff that happened 30, 40 years before they were born. And I could barely keep track of, what happened on AEW last Wednesday.
Right.
And that's because of the magazines, not the dirt sheets.
But I watch, as I I am not a casual fan. I go to a shitload of indie shows. I watch it every Wednesday. I take it in. I'm not obsessive, but it's one of my forms of entertainment. It's music, pro wrestling, music. What did I say? I like to go out, normal shit. But like the pro wrestling
never
stuff,
scores though, because he ain't got no game. Fucking sad sack of shit. Jesus.
But when I watch it, I don't give a shit. Production wise, I'd like to know how they put a show together. That stuff interests me. Obviously, I'm the audio guy. Right. But story wise, just let me sit down. I don't give a shit who's fighting with who backstage, whether it's real or not. I don't give a shit who's moving to what company. Let me watch this good story. Let me forget about politics. Let me forget about all this other bullshit for an hour or two.
Thank you. It's about it's like anything else. It's like suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
If you're going to see Spider-Man, or a new Spider-Man or a Batman, well, you got to
maybe not the new Batman.
You got to suspend disbelief.
Yes.
So, you guys know Dutch Mantel?
Yep.
I met Dutch in Puerto Rico. We did a wrestling magazine. We could do a whole podcast about that. You could hear it on Last Stop Penn Station. And Dutch would say to me, "Hey, Cary, if we're driving down the road and you would see two guys and they're fighting, what would you say?" I'm like, I don't know. He goes, "You'd say, why are they fighting?" So the point being, in the pro wrestling world, you need to have something where it's like, why are they fighting? Like, what's it all about? So I don't know if that tied anything together or just was nonsense, but that's it. You got to just, have some kind of psychology. You want to know why they're fucking fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want them to tell me why they're fighting. I don't want to do my research online, and watch dirt sheets and read dirt sheets, and I don't want to go in depth. That's not my business. I don't give a shit who Tony Khan hates. Don't care. It's none of my business.
No, it should be presented like a story, a movie, whatever, So without us questioning it, we know we understand why are they fighting.
Right.
Hopefully that made sense.
Absolutely. Total sense. You were talking about how you could go on about former Zeb Coulter, aka Dutch Mantel.
He's the best.
What is the first awesome fucking moment with a wrestler that you can remember that comes to mind that was just a fucking insane night, whether it was partying?
All right, it wasn't awesome, but it was an insane night. There I am in 1987-ish. Yes. And this guy I knew, and I was doing the ticket scalping routine. He says, "Hey, Cary, can you get some Coke?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Look, Tony Atlas wants some." I'm like, "All right." So the wrestlers in New York City used to stay on 8th Avenue and 48th Street. It's like a Holiday Inn kind of place. And I went up there after the show. I met this guy, and there's Tony Atlas. And I got him the shit. So you figure he'd say, "Well, let's go upstairs."
Yeah.
He says, "Let's go in the bathroom." I'm like, "Huh?" All right. So me and these three, the guy John that knew him, and my friend Harry, the four of us are in this bathroom, and it was the smokable style. And so we're doing it, and Tony Atlas says, "Did you see me? Were you at the show tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Why are they putting me in an opening match with this jabroni?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck." So I just wanted to get out.
Yeah, so right.
Here's Tony Atlas blocking the door.
Giant of a man.
That was my first true wrestling moment. And then during my time with ROH and all these guys, it wasn't hog wild. It wasn't crazy. there were, you had your crews, you had your partying crews, your smoke a little crews. The cocaine was sort of gone, but it was essentially good people, except for Ric Flair.
Ooh. Elaborate.
Oh, you must not listen to Last Stop Penn State.
Quit calling me out, Cary.
He still owes me $40,000. I'm a fucking asshole, but we paid him up front. It's a long story, but at all people say, "Oh, Cary, you met all these legends: Harley Race, Bruno,
oh yeah,
Bushwhacker Luke, Dutch Mantel, Ricky Morton, Phil Watts, Ricky Steamboat, so on and so forth." Who? I said everybody was nice except Ric Flair. Bret Hart too, awesome. But Flair, he's not a man of his word. He's a scumbag. He owes everybody money, and
especially his 15 ex-wives.
Well, that was the problem.
Bang bang.
When I went to my lawyer in 2010, and my lawyer turned me on to a North Carolina lawyer. That lawyer said to me, "Hey, I don't want to take your money." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Look, it's going to cost you $20,000 to stand in line behind 100 people who are going to get nothing."
Right.
I get it. So that's my Ric Flair story.
Woo!
Yeah.
I could see it though. As infamous as he is and was and forever will be, I mean, I could just see him as a guy that's like, especially if you're a fucking hard up mark for Ric Flair.
He was one of my greatest heroes.
Right. And then you met him. And did business.
I have no other bad stories. I really don't. I mean, I've had bad times with certain guys backstage, like Austin Aries. But for the most part, everybody was cool. Bruno Sammartino, what a gentleman. Good God.
That guy been through some shit too, man. Jesus.
But, it's funny. When we had Bruno in 2006 in New York, Gabe says to me, it's at the Hammerstein. Gabe says, "Cary, it's $4,000. I know Bruno's your hero, but our fans don't care about Bruno." I'm like, "Gabe, he sold out the Garden 150 times.
Record."
He goes, but yeah, that was like in the 70s, 60s, and the 80s.
Doesn't matter.
Don't worry. Well, we paid the $4,000. Bruno came. And guess what? When the intermission came for Bruno to do the autographs, we used to like to keep the intermission short because you just don't want it too long.
Right.
Like at a concert when it's like, you don't want like a 45-minute break, 15 minutes. And Gabe comes running up to me, he goes, "Hey, we got to get the second half started." I say, "You don't see the other 100 people online?" So he knew in the end it was the right thing. And when Bruno came out that night, after the intermission, he said it was like a 3-minute standing ovation. And when the people calmed down, he goes, "I can't believe this because most of you weren't even born when I had my last match." But yeah, that was a great experience. And everyone else was fine. It was just Flair.
What who would you say is your favorite people to party and kick it with over the years?
Oh, I didn't do a lot of partying for a lot of years. But like my favorite guys to just be with.
Right.
Tyler Black. At the risk of embarrassing him, he was my roommate for like a year. Why? No, it's not some scandal. It was because he would say, "Cary, I don't like to hang out with these other guys. They're all drinking and smoking." And I wasn't at the time. and Young Bucks, two Christian boys.
Yeah, two Christian boys.
And they're there with this old sleazeball. and
you listen to Gigi Allen at all?
Yes. Those guys were like my main guys. Kyle O'Reilly too. Adam Cole also. They're just wonderful people. And they have a great degree of acceptance and they don't question nothing.
You were speaking earlier, and I kind of want to segue a little bit into music about, taking guys to shows and stuff. And I know like Jerry Lynn, who I've been trying, I know he does the Front Row Material, or he did podcasts, and I've been trying because I used to watch the old school ECW and he'd be wearing Dying Fetus shirts and like Immolation and all these different bands, which is a part of my scene, the underground like death metal grindcore scene.
Right.
Who were some of the guys that you were able to like have? Because that, to me, there's nothing better. It doesn't matter like what profession you're in, whatever, just friends going to a fucking concert, because there's nothing in my mind that connects people more, that makes you scissor each other more than fucking coming together over music.
Well,
Ooh.
I became good friends with Mick Foley. He had like 7 or 8 Ring of Honor appearances. And from reading his first book, I knew he was a Jethro Tull fan.
Hell yeah.
And I also knew he was a big Christmas guy. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
He's into the whole Christmas thing.
Oh, he lives it 24/7, 365.
So when I first met him in 2005, it just so happened Jethro Tull put out a Christmas album. So I gave it to him, the CD.
What's that Van Halen song? Best of Both Worlds?
Right. So anyway, I wound up going with Foley to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the Garden with Crosby, Stills and Nash and Stevie Wonder and Springsteen and Mellencamp. And we went to a Jethro Tull show together. He's such a good dude. And Kyle O'Reilly, he wanted to go to Broadway. I took him to Book of Mormon. I took him and Adam
Nice.
to a Yankee game. And I took Kyle to see 2012 Tull Thick as a Brick, the 50th anniversary.
Fuck
yeah. And so as far as music, and Jay Lethal, the only black Jethro Tull fan in the world. He knows every song. But
really?
Some good people and some good music.
Hell yeah. That's who would you say is the biggest in wrestling, like the biggest music guy that you're aware of?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably Foley, because besides Jethro Tull, he loves Zeppelin. He loves what's the girl's name? Vita Von something.
Oh, Greta Von. Wait,
Greta
Vita.
Von. Thank you. And he's into different stuff.
He's into Anti-Scene too. He's good friends with a former guest, the lead singer of Anti-Scene, old school punk band from down south that actually recorded an album with Gigi Allen back in the day. Jeff Clayton, we had him on the show, and he was talking about how him and Foley are super cool, and Foley was a huge fan.
And although he's not in the Ring of Honor bubble, guys like Dave LaGreca, who I'm friends with.
Yeah.
Like Alice Cooper and Kiss.
Fuck
and,
yeah.
There's these guys that love Kiss. I don't love Kiss.
I don't love Kiss. They got some songs.
But Bully Ray and LaGreca, they love Kiss. Okay, it's fine. But anyway, yeah. So, as far as rocking and rolling, those are the guys.
You brought up Alice Cooper, and I am a huge fucking fan of like the first 4 or 5 albums that you did. And the first one actually produced by Frank Zappa, who I am a huge fucking fan of. My oldest son, his middle name is Zappa after Frank.
Cool. Well, I went to the 1976. I have tickets for this March for the Cooper show, but I went 1976 at Madison Square Garden to the Welcome to My Nightmare tour.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Wonderful. And I always go to see Alice as many times. Here's a guy who's been doing the same fucking show for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, he does the opening, he gets his head cut off or electrocuted or whatever. And then he comes back with School's Out in the white suit and everyone's happy.
And to this day, his vocals, and he's an older cat, he sounds amazing still fucking killer.
He still has his voice live, which a lot of guys don't, including my man Ian Anderson and even Elton John. But you know what? If you go to see Elton John, do you want someone else to sing Tiny Dancer? I don't.
No. That's
if
like,
you go to Jethro Tull, do you want someone else to sing Aqualung? I don't.
No.
So even if they're like, you know, lower key or straining, fuck it.
There's a clip. Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate that because I was fucking straining my ass off this last weekend.
Yeah, you were.
Damn.
I saw that video.
What kind of, like, where is your range musically? Like, where do you go from? I know I was saying that video, like, when I was saying there, like, were you appalled? Like, man, this fucking guy in this stupid ass shit I can't understand? Or, you know, like, where do you go musically?
Well, I mean, look, I'm old. I graduated high school in 74. Between 73 and 74, I saw Elton John, Led Zeppelin, Tull, The Who do Quadrophenia, Wings Over America, Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Let me continue, please. George Harrison. Just so many shows and so many good shows. Then I liked the band and the Allman Brothers and the Dead. And so we used to go to anything. We didn't care if it was like Billy Joel or Black Sabbath. You know, right. Billy Joel. Ew. But you know what? It was good.
Billy Joel's got some really fucking great tunes. I mean, fuck anybody that thinks otherwise.
You know, I'd like to be your guy's age, but you know what? I'm glad I grew up when I did.
Cary, I still feel like shit, even though I'm 39. I don't know if that statement's gonna ring true or not. My fucking body hurts.
Yeah, so does mine, but that's another story.
Too much rock and roll over the last 15 to 20 years, man. Too much. But it's a good thing. And also, you know, while we're on the music subject, so you're a big Tull fan, man. Who else would you kind of list as like your, I don't know, I'm not asking necessarily for a top 5, but maybe the fuck I am. As far as rock music goes, who do you get down to, man? Are you a fan of fucking Boston? Do you like the Scorps? What's up?
Pink Floyd.
Floyd, okay.
Led Zeppelin.
All right.
The Band. You know, like up on Cripple Creek.
Oh, yeah.
They drove old Dixie down.
That's right.
Take a load off, Fanny, the weight. Do you guys know who Leonard Cohen is?
Fuck yeah, I love everybody
right.
knows.
So, yeah. So I try to be varied.
Well, that's a fucking great way to be. What was the last?
I saw Metallica in '87 after the guy got killed on the bus.
Cliff Burton. No shit.
Yeah. I was at the small building behind the garden, the Felt Forum. And my friends were going, so I went, and it was like a religious, I never saw a crowd like this. It was like a fucking religious experience.
Oh, I bet.
Metallica '87 show. And yeah, man, it's all good.
What would you say is all right, let me get into this because we all like to go to concerts. We all like to partake and bring party favors to these shows.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this now. What was the most tripped out and or how would you say it? I don't want to say fucked up, but the most wonderful experience you've had or mind altering experience while at a concert? You're talking about the Dead, so I imagine there's some fucked up shit in there somewhere.
Yes, there is. And some that I wouldn't even tell you guys.
Oh, damn. I got some skeletons too, brother. Come on.
No, I can't. Mind altering. I don't want to keep talking about Tull, but I got to. 1976. Tull was the first band when they were playing in stadiums. They had the screens. They called them television. And there was a concert. It was in Hartford, Connecticut. It was 2 nights at the Hartford Civic Center, but there was too many tickets sold. Like 2 shows sold out in like 3 hours.
Oh, shit.
So they moved it to this outdoor venue. It was called Colt Park. And it was like a big field, and they had like tractor trailers around it. Like must have been like 50,000 people. And I knew nothing about the television. Nobody did. And I went to that show. Now we're talking before you guys are born.
Even Sreten, and he's an old dog.
One of those times where there was like a marijuana shortage.
No.
So I had some, and I had some other things. And I went with 4 of my friends, and it was pouring rain. And the opening band, maybe you know these guys, Jay Giles.
Yeah. Come on now.
Jay Giles from Massachusetts were the opening act. And no one gave a shit. It was raining. And I'm like, oh my God, Tull's going to come out to this. And all of a sudden, it got dark and it stopped raining. And the fucking screens, they played their pre-show music, which is like some classical stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, on the screens, you see Ian Anderson, and he's got his flute, he's got his acoustic guitar, and he just points at the camera. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck is this? The next thing you know, he's on the stage, and you realize, oh shit, there's these fucking videos. And it was just magic. I mean, I saw George Harrison. I saw Bowie.
Oh, man.
Just so many good shows. And
do you have one that's you consider all-time favorite?
How about the night Elton John played when John Lennon came out?
Oh,
1974.
You were there?
I was a senior in high school. Oh, I was with my love of my life, Debbie Shinaki. And there was a rumor because there was the song Whatever Gets You Through the Night, which was like a top 10 hit with Elton and John Lennon. Plus, Elton had done Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds for some shitty Beatles movie. And they were on the radio. You guys, there's a Bowie song called Born Late 58. Well, you guys were born late 78. So there was this rumor on the radio that John Lennon's going to show up. And he did. And this is when Elton John had the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. So he opens up with Funeral for a Friend. And he's doing these great fucking songs. And about an hour into the show, he goes, it's at the Garden. He says, folks, he goes, I want you to bring the roof down. And the biggest pop I've ever heard, besides Muhammad Ali coming out at the first WrestleMania, was John Lennon coming out. And they did Whatever Gets You Through the Night and Lucy in the Sky. And for the encore, Elton did Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. And the second encore was Bitches Back. And Lennon came out and just jammed. And how much better can you get than that?
Oh, man. That's fucking amazing. John Lennon was my favorite Beatle. And that's a lot of people like Paul, but John was the shit. Cary, real quick, as we get ready to end here.
Yes.
I want to give you the time to promote what you have going on in your life, your podcast, anything going on with ROH, anything of that nature. The door is open.
Thank you. April 1st, Ring of Honor, somewhere in the heart of Texas.
Yeah. Google it, you bastards. Google it.
It's like 17 miles out of Dallas. It's an easy ride. We're going to have a hell of a show. We got Bandito against Jonathan Gresham.
Yes.
We got the Briscoes against major opponents to be announced. And there's going to be more announcements tomorrow night. It's going to be a great show, as well as, hey, AJ, come here.
AJ, get your ass here.
I got my man AJ here. You guys want to talk metal, you can talk to him.
AJ, you're a metal guy, huh?
Last Stop Penn Station podcast, which we've had a little hiatus from, but there's like 80 episodes. You want to hear about the down and dirty. You want to hear about when New York City had like one glory hole per person.
Only one?
Only one. And yeah, so we got that. And my man AJ here is our producer. He's my best friend. He's a great guy. And he could talk metal with you guys all fucking night.
Fuck yeah. AJ, you're the fucking man. Yeah. You have to send me AJ's contact.
I'm ROH Cary on Twitter. I'm ROH Cary on Instagram. I'm fucking ROH Cary.
Hey, that's right. For life. Cary, I can't thank you enough.
Best.
You guys, dude, you and AJ are the fucking shit. April 1st. April 1st.
Texas?
Yeah, it could happen.
No.
That's all I can say right now. I might have to tell my family to fuck off and go down and see some wrestling.
Well, keep in touch. Thank you. You guys are very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. You have a good night. Until next time.
Love you.
Take care.
Love you, man.
Peace out.
That's cool.
And that was once again one of the best fucking episodes and interviews you'll ever hear. Why? Because it comes from the JP Dub, the Juice Pro Wrestling Podcast, you sons of bitches. Hey, shout out to fucking Cary Silkin. He is the motherfucking man with stories for days. You never know. He might pop back up on this show again and share some more. Speaking of sharing things, we'd like it if you guys would continue to support and share the show by interacting with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even sometimes fucking TikTok. That's right. I said it. Hey, we're on all podcasting platforms. So make sure you download, rate, and review us. We're on YouTube, jpdub.com. That's where you're watching this motherfucking video right now. So hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because that's the only way we can get bigger and do bigger things for all of you and be more entertaining than we already are, which we're pretty exclusively fucking the shit, I might add. ProWrestlingTees.com is where you go to get Juice Pro Wrestling t-shirts. We got 3 killer designs. I'm about to change it up here in probably the next month or two. So get them while they're hot, because once they're gone, and they ain't never coming back. Well, I'm lying about that. If you guys fucking like them and want them, I'll bring them back. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support. Please continue to do so. Like I said, we only get bigger and stronger together. We only do that by sharing, by a simple click, a simple like, a simple rating and review. Let us know what you think. Even if you don't like us, I'll fucking take it. I could take the bad with the good. I don't care. Sreten could do it too. He's a piece of fucking shit. He takes the bad all the time. Man, that's right. Don't fucking scowl at me. Hey, until next time, we love you. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Let's stay wet together. Oh.
You gonna do sex to me?
Did you like that video? If so, be sure to hit like and subscribe and check out more killer content from your boys at Juice Pro Wrestling. Whoa, yeah!